Hey everybody, welcome to A Pinch of Salt, a short, small little interlude in the middle of the week that Miranda and I hope to be making consistent like we have with Salt over the weekend. We're giving it a shot.
And we're giving it a shot.
Yeah. So this is our first one, and it's just a little thought. Might be a preview to what we're talking about more on the weekend, on Sabbath, but we just thought we'd try a short little one here today. And today we are talking about
Joseph.
Again.
You might remember that from what?
Last Sabbath.
What, 3 days ago or
3
something?
days ago, yes. And yet, here we are again talking about Joseph, because she gets thoughts, lots of thoughts, and thoughts come to her. Bing, bing, lots of thoughts. and then we talk about them. But yeah, so we're talking about Joseph. And what was last Sabbath? What we were talking about, Joseph, was
basically the love of God remains the same wherever we go. Yeah.
So sometimes highs, lows.
Sometimes we might think, that would be a step up if I could get that job or live in that house or drive that vehicle or whatever it might be. It might be a step up, and yet that's not how it works. God's love remains the same wherever we go, and that is equal.
Yeah, and to now, this moment, we're going to talk about Joseph and
his dreams.
Joseph and his dreams.
Yes.
So basically, Joseph, when he was born, he was the favorite. Like at that point, his had all the older brothers, and he was born way later, and he was the young one and the youngest. And oh my goodness, so he was like the favorite child, and the coat of many colors and all that. And so he had that probably a little bit of a spoiled, position in his character where he was, dad's favorite. And he had the dreams, where everybody bowed down to him. And probably at that point, it didn't really seem that far-fetched. Just, I am the favorite. And I'm sure he didn't think much when he was telling everybody his dreams. Oh, and then one day y'all going to bow down. And he's just going on and really didn't maybe realize how, demeaning that was to his brothers and even, his father. He just thought maybe, okay, I guess I am that child. I will have this one day, and, I deserve this or whatever. And anyway, later, of course, his brothers sell him into slavery, and he goes to Egypt. And, long story short, he goes through all kinds of experiences being, thrown in prison and wrongly accused of things, and eventually elevated to the second command of all power of Egypt, and eventually his brothers and father do come and bow down to him. But he was in a much different character position at that point than when he first had the dream.
Yes, I'm guessing that by the time he got to that point, he was more the frame of mind where he knew he didn't deserve any of that. There was nothing that he could have ever done to make that happen. And he no doubt recognized that this was God's plan from the very beginning. And he had nothing to do with that at all, really.
Yeah, so he went from the one where maybe I deserve this or I will deserve this to at the end knowing I don't deserve it, and that's when it actually came to pass. And the journey in between was to prepare him for a lot of things. But, all the experiences God used individually to make a difference at that point in his life, but also in his life as on to make him ready for when that fulfillment of the dream would come. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so join us this next Sabbath. Yes, we will touch on Joseph again.
Yeah.
But we will also have other Bible story illustrations. And this one is going to be based on something that Aspen said from the backseat of the car. I'm going to call it Wisdom from the Backseat of the Car because we're going for a drive on up to Fort Worth, and Brett and Aspen were busy exchanging one-upmanships.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Aspen popped up with a bit of wisdom from the back seat. And so we're going to be expounding on what she talked about.
Really? You're going to do that?
Yes, we're going to expound on it. Or talk about it.
She doesn't
make
tell me
analogies.
These things. We come up on Sabbath, she starts talking about it. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about that, are we?
No, that's not true. He already knows what we're talking about.
She can't believe we're going to share it with the world, but yes. Okay, yeah. Tune in for that, because that will be entertaining.
Why? Because your daughter won up to you on that one?
She did. She won that one. So
yes, she did.
I was outdone by my daughter, yeah. All right. So anyway, thanks for joining us, Pinch of Salt, and we'll see you on Sabbath.